Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 947. I am Stephen at Gallifrey One.
Warren at Gallifrey One.
And Chris at Gallifrey One.
And...
Erika at Gallifrey One.
And...
Jason at Gallifrey One.
Woo.
Welcome to our show, you two. Jason's been...
We're poolside.
I know we're
Welcome to our room.
So it's 16 degrees Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? It's in the 60s
68,
somewhere.
66. Yeah.
Probably about that. It's not exactly balmy. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's nice.
It beats home.
I don't care.
It even beats Vancouver.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's about 9 and rainy as per usual.
Oh, naturally. Yeah. Anyway, we're out here. I think we promised that we were going to try a video for this.
Yeah, we didn't try that hard.
Sometimes we forget how tiring galley can be.
Yeah.
And we get the pre-galley enthusiasm, which then wanes by about Saturday.
It makes me happy that after 15 years, because this is the 15th year anniversary of our gala. Obviously, we've been going in 2021, but that we still get like delusional about what we can do in a weekend.
It's
Oh, of
very
course.
cute.
Yeah,
It's charming.
It is charming.
My sked list is chock a block with
Thick.
I want to go to this. And then after 14 for us,
Yeah.
15 for you.
That's
'Cause Warren
true.
and I missed that one year.
That's right.
Yeah, it's so like I want to go to this, I want to go to this, I want to see that. And then there's 4 conflicts and I go to nothing.
Yep.
I've gone to a grand total of 1 a couple hours ago.
What panel was that?
That was the Big Crunch, which is about streaming, a bunch of TV writers
Yeah.
Oh, right.
complaining,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh.
rightfully so, about how bad the things are in the streaming land and everything
Right.
now, and how who's to blame. You'll never guess.
Is it the corporations?
It might be the corporations.
Yeah. Well, Jason, this is your
No.
first galley since when? 2020?
20. I was here right before the curtain came down.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah. How you liking it?
Love it.
Yeah.
It's like coming home. It's like I get to see all these people. I mean, the convention to me is great, but it's the people that make me come back. It's that's what it's all about, seeing those people.
Yep.
Familiar faces, familiar voices.
Voices as well.
And then, yeah, you can just walk past a table and say, oh, that's Derek Jacobi. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah. Yeah, later in this podcast, you'll hear more than just a walk past the table with Derek Jacobi. You'll hear Chris, Warren, and I talk to Derek Jacobi.
Although it wouldn't be great if we just did a drive-by. And that was
Just
it.
a drive-by.
Asked a question, he's like, go to hell.
Just yelling out the window.
And if you listen very carefully, maybe you can hear me rustling in the background as I walk around and take pictures.
That's true. So can I, because you were kind of like thinking, I'm tired.
I had a headache. I wasn't feeling great. I was in the room. I was like, I'm just going to stay here
Does
for a
this
while.
give us some hope that there will eventually be a video version of this episode, but it'll just be telesnaps?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Listen,
Lego tell us
so
that.
Erika took 34 pictures
It was a lot.
of our 15-minute chat with Derek Jacobi, and as I was arranging it in Premiere, I thought I could do this telesnap style. They are shot sequentially. I
They
could
are.
literally do it like the Underwater Menace telesnap
Just
recon.
call me John Kira.
But I didn't do that. But I wanted you to meet Derek Jacobi because he's your
my
favorite
favorite actor of all time.
And I'm thinking, you're not tired. You're not tired for 15 minutes. So I here's how I hoodwinked you.
Oh boy.
Because you like being helpful. And
I
so
do.
I put it under the guise, could you come down and maybe shoot some pictures of us talking?
And it worked.
And I knew that's what would get her
Otherwise, I
out.
probably wouldn't have showed up. It's
Exactly.
true. You
Are
know
you
me
a
so
people
well.
pleaser?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, fist bump. You can't,
A
but
little
there we
bit,
go. 'cause
yeah.
I'm in that boat too.
So anyway, it's a lovely chat. He is charming
He is a sweetheart.
and
He's lovely.
affable.
And humble for a man of his acting and knightly stature.
Yeah, he really is. So
Yeah. And afterwards, like, you Stephen was very kind and took the time to introduce me, and he shook my hand before he left and like made eye contact, and oh my God. Like, you've seen him in the movies. You've probably seen a close-up on him and those piercing blue eyes. Let me tell you, they are way more piercing in person. It is the
Right?
camera does not do those eyes justice. I forgot everything I ever knew in that moment and was just like, I'm shaking hands with Derek Jacobi.
They have
He's
to
making
filter
eye
out his
contact.
eye color in the movies to protect the
And then you
public.
heard
I now believe it.
are not
Yeah,
alone.
I know that the blue eye color basically like doomed his chances of ever appearing on Doctor Who in the 70s and 80s because the blue screen
Ah,
technique
it's
would have
I
rendered
see.
him like just completely be showing up.
He was
with,
going to be in Underworld, and it just didn't work out.
it didn't work out.
They want to put him in Horror Fang Rock just to change his icon.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Reference acknowledged.
well done.
That was really good.
Well done. Well done. Where should we begin on this random pot? Should we talk about our live show?
Yeah, let's start there. I mean, that kicks off the whole shebang.
Right.
So, although there were panels at 10 o'clock an
We
hour
never saw
before
them.
our live
We never
show.
saw
We were too
them.
busy pacing back and forth.
Yes,
as per usual.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure, start there.
Things changed in the course of several minutes.
They did.
Yes.
We heard that Kevin McNally was going to be on the show. That was the first change. I thought, okay, we'll
Yeah.
have 3 actors in that last panel
Yeah.
instead of 4. That's
Which,
fine.
That
we
ended
A
can
up,
do
room
it.
on the couch. That's
Right?
nice.
ended up working well.
Everything's going fine.
And then-
It's 10:52.
Yep.
And all of a sudden,
we
oh,
can't-
wait a second.
We can't find Sega Nakanola.
There's no Sega Nakanola
Not just
or
we,
lead guest.
nobody can find
Nobody
Sega
can find
Nakanola.
Sega Nakanola.
So I thought, well, maybe we can find Kevin John Davies, our second one. Jay Griffiths, who was great, by the way, on the
Oh,
live
she's
show.
Oh, she's
Amazing.
fantastic.
Showed
Funnier than
up
hell.
an hour before she was needed to be on stage.
Yeah.
And she's there.
Yeah, she waited in the
Gotta
wings the
love
whole
people like
time.
that.
Right?
Wow.
The professional that
Yeah.
she is. But we wanted her and Annette Badland and Sean Dingwall. So we couldn't do that panel either.
Yeah.
So-
like
She
she
stuck
said,
around,
like
though.
she said, I'm never late.
Yeah. Yep. Like a wizard. So for a perilous long 3.5 minutes, we had no guests.
It felt longer.
Yep, we had no
Yeah.
guests. And
Yeah.
we eventually walked on stage at 11:04. 4 minutes late.
I didn't even realize it was 4 minutes late. There was so much energy in that room. People
Yeah.
were sitting down chatting, and like we were just all excited.
Yeah.
So nobody noticed.
That's good.
I looked out in the crowd when we took the stage, and there were a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
That always
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
get to sit quite as close as I
Yeah.
wanted to.
always blows
really?
my mind.
Yeah.
Kat was sitting second row, just off center, I think, live tweeting the whole thing. There's
Yep.
the thread on retweeted by
Which
the
she's done
RFS
for
account.
years, right? At least the last
Probably.
couple, for sure.
Yeah.
They all blend together.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They sure
But
do.
she had a good seat at least. So
Yeah. Got
and
to-
then and then today all my Twitter notifications go absolutely crazy because Erika's mother is catching up on all this and retweeting everything.
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
Mom.
sweet.
Yeah.
I know she's listening right now.
She's listening
very
right now.
excited.
I know she is quite excited.
Hi,
so-
Renee.
Fangirl Prime. Yep. Got to talk to Sega Nakanola about drums a little bit. Did not know he was a drummer. Did
Magical.
not know.
I could see from like 20 rows of back. I could see your eyes light up.
Yep.
Like, ooh, like an okay.
You
we
think
should-
you saw that? I was right next to
I
her.
You
know.
blinded by that.
Almost Derek Jacobi level excitement, perhaps.
Almost. That was quite nice. Kevin John Davies was fun talking
it was
about
great, yeah.
hitchhikers and Douglas Adams.
A real
it's-
raconteur.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
He could spin a tail.
I also didn't know he worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I didn't know that either.
I actually did not know
Yeah,
that either.
he wanted us all to know it though. So
Oh,
we
he
made
That's
made sure
true,
it was
yes.
known.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Was it, what I didn't say was that was the troubled part run by Richard. I can't remember his name. Richard Harris, I think it was. Anyway, a vaunted animator who drove everyone in LA crazy with all his.
Oh, really?
And so he might have been on that team because it would have probably been in England, right? So,
Yeah.
So none of that's his fault.
Well,
but
it
there
was
was a
shot
lot
in
of
England, I believe.
Oh, was
wasn't
it? Okay.
I think it was shot
Okay.
in England. I know this because
I could be wrong about this, but yeah.
there's an actor from Planet of Giants from 1964 who is in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Was that Bob Hoskins?
No, it's not Bob Hoskins.
That'd be amazing.
But Stubby K is also in
Stubby
it.
K from Delta and the
That's
Bannermen
true, he is, yeah.
is also in.
He's the studio head, right?
No, that's the guy from Planet of Giants.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Stubby
So,
K's in there too somewhere.
Radio Free Rabbit. Is that what we're doing
Yes,
now?
we are,
Exactly.
sure.
We are not praising the film itself. We are just talking
We
about
should,
the
it's
Doctor
great.
Who connections to Who Framed Roger
Like
Rabbit.
our friend Sarah Murphy tweeted. He mentioned he worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit and just left it there like it's not the best movie ever.
just let that slide. Now back to Doctor Who, please. How did you make Sontarans?
Oh,
Your fan film, essentially.
just to throw in another Sarah Murphy reference, she also tweeted out in all caps when Derek Jacobi had his interview, confirmed he is a dolly aficionado because he has 2 of his own action dollies.
Yeah. Yeah, he was playing with one on stage or something, wasn't he?
That's what
Wow.
it does.
Yeah,
That's the dolly life.
So when you get famous, Warren, you just need your own dolly.
I
mean,
have the dollies. I don't need
Erika's
to
got
be
her,
famous.
her Lego minifig,
I do.
so
yeah.
she's a leg up
True.
on the rest of us.
Yeah.
A Lego up on
Lego
the
up,
rest of
yeah.
us. Sorry, Jason, I beat you to
No,
it.
you got it. you built it. You set yourself up and you knocked yourself down. Good job.
Well done. And then we had the actors panel, which went really great. Sean Dingwall was great, and that Badland was great. Jay Griffiths was great. They were all great.
They were all fantastic.
Yeah.
And it
That
seemed like
was-
Jay knew Sean, or she's good at razzing somebody because there was a lot of razzing going on.
There was, yeah. Even though they never were in Doctor Who together, but
It flowed really nicely because I know that was the first time that you did the Graham Norton style, everybody at once
worked.
talking to each
Yeah.
other. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would say it was a hit.
and you hope to God that you know that two of the actors have something in common because they were in the same series. Dingwall and Badlow were in the first series of the Modern Who, but Jay Griffiths wasn't, and she was in stuff that they weren't in. So it's like, where can we find a connecting line so that they can both talk to each other?
Yeah, you didn't get to tick your box of Midsummer Murders.
I never did. I never
was
did.
waiting
That's
for that,
perfectly
and then
fine.
and then at the end, I was like, you know what? I might have gotten some spoilers, so maybe it's better that you didn't say
Exactly.
anything.
Exactly. I have picked up hints from the Craig Ferguson style of interviewing that if you can end on a high but 3 minutes early, you end 3 minutes early on a high. And so that's what I did. We're going out here. And says, "Do you remember it?" "No, I don't remember anything about Midsummer Murders." "Okay, that's the show. Bye."
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been sad.
Bad news. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want the Ferguson style awkward pause for.
it doesn't work as well.
Especially on a podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Jason, you had a panel like shortly after our live show, which I had to miss, and now I want to know all about it.
Yeah, I wanted to go into that
which
too.
is like about Disney Plus and streaming and all that. It's basically downstream, but on a Doctor Who
A
convention
little bit.
panel.
I mean, it was an interesting structure because we ended up just sort of being asked sequential questions by the host of the panel,
Right.
Oh,
which was
interesting.
a little bit odd. But I think there's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of fear about the new Disney Plus era of Doctor Who because, first off, as somebody on the panel said, I think it's a Doctor Who fan's right, privilege, and perhaps destiny to be terrified about the future of Doctor Who at all
Right.
times.
Sounds checks out.
There's
Yep.
precedent.
Right. So, and this is as good a time as any for that. So why not? So the idea that, like on the pro side, very clearly Disney Plus gave script notes for the Church on Ruby Road, and said we want to see Shudigatwa sooner.
Yeah.
And that's a really nice note that led to additional shooting in the second season to put into that episode, and it's great.
Yep.
At the same time, immediately out in the audience, somebody in the Q&A said, "Wait, Disney's giving notes? That sounds dangerous, right?" It's like,
Of course.
I mean, notes can be bad, notes can be good. I feel like Russell T. Davis probably has got enough clout now to graciously ignore the notes that he doesn't agree with. But, I think that's, you now have a huge corporation involved financially in the making of Doctor Who and all that comes with it. The good, the potential marketing power, all of that, and the fear, which
The
is that they're going to mess it
danger.
up.
Rachel Talalay had her panel today, and apparently she mentioned she's in her basement or something. She has a shoebox of lousy studio notes
Nice.
That's
because the
awesome.
executives just never got Tank Girl.
Oh, of course.
The basement is
Sure.
the best place
Yeah.
for those.
Yeah.
Sure. And the BBC is giving notes too. I mean, right?
course.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Bad Wolf producing it. I'm sure there are BBC executives and Disney executives who are tasked with giving notes. And then, Russell T. Davis gets to hopefully ignore them, except the good ones.
Yep. I think it was during the commentary, or it might have been with our chat after the commentary, which was maybe not for public consumption. But I think this is worthy of repeating anyway, because you said that Disney, wanted the extra scene with Shudigatwa and Church on Ruby Road. They also wanted to chop about like 10 minutes out of Wild Blue Yonder, and Russell said no. No, we are absolutely not chopping 10 minutes out of this. They wanted to get to like basically the "my arms are too big" scene sooner. They thought that dragged or something like that. That builds the suspense of what is
that's
going
a Deer
on in
Hunter
this weird
situation.
ship.
You need the wedding, even though it seems boring.
You do.
Or the rest doesn't work.
Yeah,
Well, it's
and
all
so,
tension and paranoia.
Exactly.
It's so good.
Yeah, and Disney thought that we don't want this, but RTD fought for that and kept it in. So he says, "Okay, I'll do this for you." Maybe it was a quid pro quo. Maybe it says, "Sure, I'll do that additional Shudigatwa scene, but you keep those 10 minutes in Wild Blue Yonder." Who knows? But yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it as we were talking earlier today, Jason, it'll be interesting to see what happens at next year's Galley when Disney Plus is the main home now for Doctor Who, and it's so much more accessible than BBC
And there's
America.
more new Doctor Who.
And there's more Doctor
That's,
Who.
that's the
Yeah.
big thing is that there's more out there.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah,
things
like-
that came up on that panel that I was on was they asked where people discovered Doctor Who, and being an old, I said PBS.
Yeah.
Right.
But most of them said Netflix, which is interesting because that's also
Ooh.
not linear
Almost old,
TV
too.
at
Yeah.
all. It was a period in time, but it was also a streaming service where lots of episodes were accessible. And then with BBC America and all that, and AMC Plus and all that, now they're on Max, but it's not like the new releases. So I wonder if being on Disney Plus will give Doctor Who that accessibility to a whole new generation of fans who will discover it in a way that, it hasn't been the case maybe since you could binge those episodes on Netflix.
Yeah.
Going by the cosplay index, I haven't seen that many Shootigatwas. I thought less than I thought I would.
Oh, right.
But
I've
next
seen
year, I bet
plenty.
you will see a
there's
ton.
been a few. You saw
I've seen a
both?
few, but I haven't seen that
Quite
many.
a lot in the orange shirt, brown
I have seen a
coats.
few.
Yeah,
Don't get me
the
wrong, but I thought I'd see more.
Mm-hmm. The original photo op one that he
Yeah.
wore like for 4 seconds.
But there will have been 8 or more shows and different costumes too.
Fortunately,
by that
no
point.
bi-generation cosplay with just the underpants and the shirt.
Thank
Or two
you.
people-
Oh,
or two
I'm so
people
glad.
together.
Yeah.
Like,
Kat and I were walking through the dealer's room this afternoon, and there's a booth selling photos, like publicity stills, for like $6 or something each. And I was trying to convince her to let me buy the Shootigawa in the white shirt and underpants, leaning against the TARDIS console, just to frame and hang on the
Just
wall.
have it up there.
A shrine.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to I've even I saw some the Ruby Sunday costume from the 60s episode. Somebody was wearing
Wow.
one,
Yes.
like note perfect.
Yes, yeah.
And I have to wonder, was that costume available to buy off the rack, or did that person just say, I'm going to research literally everything about this?
I was talking to that person at the bar with a different Ruby Sunday costume. She has made a point of getting all the set reports and all the rest of it to do all the costumes ahead of time that she can.
That
So
is-
I didn't ask her all the
that's working
particulars,
smart.
but she is
Yep.
definitely wearing stuff that we haven't seen yet or
Yeah.
on the show,
That is working
other than
smart.
set reports.
Erika, did you see any panels or stuff? I know you're not really participating any until Verity in Defense of on
Right.
Sunday.
I have to set an alarm for
Sorry,
tomorrow.
I know.
I'm grumpy.
We're doing this on a Saturday afternoon. But
Yes,
yeah.
I'm taking it very, very easy. I'm mostly I'm seeing the few interviews and stuff with. I go to interviews for the interviewers, not the interviewees. So that's been fun to see you in the live show and stuff. I did go to the Cornell Collective last night, which was delightfully fun and raucous as always. Completely full room, standing room only, sitting room in my case. I sat on the floor
Yeah.
because somebody was supposed to save me a seat and then they didn't.
That was me, dear listeners.
Yep. And but it was still fun. It was still fun to see it from the floor. Justice for Joseph Scrimshaw. His vocal rendition of the Peter Howell theme was 100% recognizable by me and apparently nobody else on the panel.
I missed that bit.
was disappointed in everybody.
Oh,
yeah, Riley.
shame.
Actually,
Fake
it wasn't.
fans.
It wasn't a question for Riley. It was a question for somebody else.
Okay.
But Riley was also Riley and Joseph. That is my favorite sort of duo on that panel every year, and they were both hilarious, and it was very fun. Amanda Ray Prescott, another friend on there. It's just always a hilarious and good time. And I almost died laughing at another one of Joseph Scrimshaw's jokes, Cinder Runcible. I will leave you with that.
Did run some
I was sitting next to her. She did almost
yeah,
die.
she did flop over a little bit.
But 3 different vocal renditions of the Doctor Who theme was special.
Right, I missed that bit because I had a duty to perform.
You did.
It was my job to wrangle the secret special guest to come on stage, and everyone had to put on blindfolds, kind of like Front Page Challenge. And,
nice
and
drop.
they had to ask this person questions, and that person had to be truthful about them. Paul told them, "No, do not be truthful. Lie, lie, lie," and determine who it was. And the guest was Jonathan Carley, who is famous for the War Doctor, young War Doctor, but he also does the mean Tom Baker, and he was answering in the guise of Tom Baker and everything. And Joseph Scrimshaw was the first one to sort of like guess. You have a guess of who it is, and he says, "Is it Stephen Chapasky pretending to be Tom Baker?" And it was all like silent, and I went, "No."
From the side of the room.
And then Lisa McMullen guessed, "Is it John Doherty pretending to be Tom Baker?" And John Doherty happened to be in the room, and he says, "No." And it was a thing. It was a bit.
It was
and nobody
hilarious.
guessed who it was.
No.
At the end of all that,
It was good stuff.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that was Friday.
Hold on, There's more.
What happened on
there's
What
more.
happened on
There's
Friday,
more.
Warren?
That's fan video happy hour.
How did that go down?
It went very well. There was all the feels as per
Yeah.
usual. We all laughed, and then on I can now reveal my video, which you can watch on YouTube in the playlist. Is Star Wars Leaves the Door Open. It's Bruno Mars Leave the Door Open with all Star Wars footage. My remit was to do the thirstiest and silliest thing I could,
Right.
and I succeeded on both counts. Deb Stanish said, "You have outdone yourself, you magnificent bastard."
Right.
So,
Nice.
So there were people loved it. People laughed their butts off. So
That's
we're,
lovely.
Puppets were talking during it. That was the best part.
But, yeah, you were working on that like
A few months ago. Yeah.
I know, and you sent me an early copy
Yes,
of it,
I
and I
did.
watched it. I was waiting for it, and yeah, that was fun. Yeah, no, the Star Beast commentary was a lot of fun with Rachel Talalay and Jacqueline King and Brian Herring. Brian Herring, who Kat later interviewed earlier today, Saturday.
She did, yeah.
Where we got to watch the Star Beast, and Jacqueline King is great.
She's so cool.
She was
Apparently she's
really
nice as pie, according to everybody.
She was, yeah. And I interviewed her today as well
Yeah.
for half an hour on the panel, and she was just lovely. And so, yeah, commentaries are my favorite things. They remain my favorite things, even though it's a little bit loud up there. I don't know. I'm always wary about how it sounds out in the audience.
I felt like I was only 3 or 4 rows back.
Right.
So sometimes I thought the volume of the Doctor Who episode itself was maybe a little high.
Yeah.
But I could hear the rest of you fine.
Okay,
so I
that's
don't know
good.
what it was like in the back of the room, but I had a great time.
That's good.
Last night, Dominic Glenn did his concert thing.
Ooh.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I was there. I was
how
there.
was it? I wanted to go there.
It was great.
Yeah.
Just played all his remixes and had like a visualizer thing on the projector screen.
I walked past there and it was intense.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Apparently, security was called for the noise level.
What?
I don't know, so I'm told. But
Wow.
Really?
yeah, apparently security came in, talked to Brian Little, and he explained what was going on. And they're like, "Oh, okay, watch."
You
a
were there
couple
with the
minutes-
mohawk.
Watch
What's
a couple
going
minutes
on?
And left.
Wow.
So it would have been cleared with a hotel, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But during the thing, so I was sitting third row by the TARDIS, so like stage left,
Right.
Yeah, right, whatever
Left,
it is.
yeah.
Stage left.
Stage left, and not far from the speaker, and all the bass in his music was not coming through.
Oh, no.
So after the concert, I was talking to him, and he's like, "Did I blow the speaker?" So I don't know if the speakers are maybe not working as well today because of whether that was him or
Funny.
the speaker beforehand.
Knocking out the
but
subwoofer
Yeah.
with music from a Doctor Who story from
Turned it to
1989.
11.
Yeah.
Turned it to 11.
Wow. That's astounding. How did Kat's interview with Brian Herring go today?
very well, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
it was-
puppeteer who's like he told me, he like talked my ear off almost for 4 minutes right before I did the little talking hand thing, and Jason said, this is literally what his job is to be that
Just
guy.
a picture of a puppet
Yeah.
on that hand.
Well, he did BB-8. He did
Yeah.
the Meep for the Doctor
the
Who
Meep,
side of things.
obviously,
He was
yeah.
on
There's a
both-
few of those showing up today here too.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Lots
there's
of
tons
little
yeah.
kid Meep.
There's a little kid
There's a
Meep.
baby Meep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
saw
haven't
pictures
seen
of that.
them yet.
So good.
Yep.
He was on both iterations of Spitting Image.
Yeah.
So he's in a bunch
Like
of
the
stuff.
classic spinning image
Yeah,
as well.
Like he's
yeah.
got a storied history, I guess. But yeah, she said it was great, and he thanked her afterward, and he said he was used to just doing everything solo, not having a moderator, so he appreciated having stuff fed, so he didn't have to think on the spot about what to say.
Nice.
That's
yeah,
great.
went well.
And how about the Waterhouse? Because I know it's Adric, and Kat likes Adric, so
Went quite well, yeah.
Yeah.
She covered mostly not Adric stuff, so like the books he's written or Big Finish and
Right.
this and that.
Cool.
Went really, really well. Apparently, Matthew had some very kind words to say, as we heard via his handler
Right.
yesterday
Yeah.
and today.
nice.
And he had a second interview with Steve Hill from Chicago TARDIS
Yep.
today. And apparently, Steve Hill was in the audience for Kat's panel yesterday and was referencing her panel
Oh, cool.
on the stage with Waterhouse today.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
So,
Wow.
That's some good work all
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Kat was very happy. Yeah.
I think we all at some time, you, Erika, Jason, and me wandered through the dealer room. I
Yep.
think we've all been through the dealer room at
Oh,
some
yes.
point. Was there anything in the dealer room that jumped out at you as being amusing? Let's start with you, Warren.
I don't know if there's any left.
Right.
It doesn't really matter people listening, but of all things, the Jodie Barbie was there, but it's not called the Jodie Barbie. It's the Adventure Doll, and I can't remember if that was a weird regional thing because it definitely is a
Adventure
Jodie
Doll.
Barbie. Like it's
Or
I
was,
saw
was,
the
it
sign.
was it a knockoff, maybe?
maybe that's why it's $25.
That-
It looks the same as maybe it's it's a reasonable facsimile of Jodie with 2 eyes. I'll have to check
Right.
for misspellings and
Jodie with a slash through the O.
But anyway, it was $25, and I got myself a Jodie. I'm going on a Barbie. I don't care.
Right.
I also scored the Sensorites,
Uh-huh.
which every kid loves, and Romana 1, 2, and classic series Sarah Jane,
All kids love Sedgwick.
and not in Gallifrey, but I got myself a Grand Moff Tarkin and a Nosferatu action dolly on a Sojourn on Thursday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, wow. made a haul.
And the kid at the desk was like, "Oh, Moff Gideon," and I was like, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it." I managed to restrain myself from correcting him.
Yeah, we bought pins. That's all I got. I got two. I got the diamond logo pin
Those are shiny pins.
and a neon logo pin. The proper.
Oh.
Yeah, I got.
Nice.
I broke down and I got pins.
Yep.
Stephen and I agreed that we didn't need pins, and then I pointed out the pins, and then suddenly $15 changed hands.
I
and
had
they
two
were pins.
pins.
Yep.
I had two pins.
Those Dalek pins were really pretty too.
They
When
were.
You mentioned because it's the new paradigm colors.
Yeah.
And you said, why do they look so good everywhere except on the show?
That's absolutely true.
Yep.
Oh, I know the shiny enamel pins.
On
they
toys,
look,
on the pins, they're just beautiful.
They
Yep.
are gorgeous. They're
They're just bumper
gorgeous
cars
Daleks.
on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, it's what a shame. Maybe they were sold on like the 2D picture, and they thought, yes, those are perfect. Maybe they made the enamel pins
It's
first.
like Spinal Tap, and then they built them, and they're like, no,
And a little dwarf started running around them.
that was inches, not feet.
But
What
I
are you
drew
doing?
this on the napkin. F the napkin. I wanted to say that first before someone said the actual line.
We bought nothing Doctor Who related. We
At all?
got some Girl Guide, Girl Scout. What are they? doing?
Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts here
Girl
in the
Guide
Girl
States.
Guide
cookies.
in Canada.
Girl Guide cookies do not compare to Girl
Come
Scout
on.
cookies.
Actually, Kat
Come
was talking to
on.
one of the women selling them, and she was aware of the Canadian iteration, and they just don't compare.
even the East Coast and West Coast Girl Scout cookies are different.
They are
Sounds like
different.
we need a gang
Oh,
war.
really?
Yep, it's true. They're supposed to be the same, but they're in different.
It's
Made
like
from
Hardee's
different
and Carl's
bakeries.
Jr.
They're slightly different. Yeah, their
Really?
names are different.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing.
Well, like Girl Guide cookies are like kind of like Oreos, right?
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
little sandwich
traditional.
cookies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
they're not quite that in.
No, there's all different
We have
varieties.
lots of kinds.
So many
Oh.
kinds, and they're so
Jason
good.
says-
What do you want? What do you
Jason
want?
says proudly.
They come to my door. I live in the suburbs. I try to fight them off, but then
Right.
my wife swoops in with cash.
Yeah,
and that's the end
here,
of it.
here. Give me one of each.
$6 a box. Maybe try some.
I was
Yeah.
tempted to we'd have to check a bag, but last year
So overstuffed.
we did actually bring back boxes of several of the varieties for our Canadian friends to try.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't eat gluten very often, and the gluten-free ones are not that great. They're not worth buying. But I made an exception for some Thin Mints and some shortbread.
Right.
and I probably shouldn't do that again, but part of me wants to. Is it worth the extra bag fee just to fill it with Girl Scout cookies?
Yes,
Probably
I think it is.
not. Unless we just buy them on Sunday, and because we're flying out Tuesday, we'll just eat all Girl Guide cookies on the Monday.
Girl Scout.
Girl Scout, I did it again.
You guys have never let rationality get in the way of a good time. so-
Never. That's true.
It's true.
Especially not you.
I didn't
not
actually
me.
buy anything. I had thought about picking up another pin because I like pin badges and I
Yeah.
have purses and things to put them on. But a friend who I'm not going to name because she doesn't have that many of them, but a lovely friend made an amazing pin of the TARDIS in front of
I know.
the Starry Night.
Oh, it's so
nice.
good.
And
I'm
it is-
looking at
right
it.
here.
I'm
It is
looking at
gorgeous.
it.
Yes,
Lauren's got one. I
and
don't.
she didn't have very many of them, so I was one of the lucky people to get one. So I'm not gonna name her yet.
I can
but
live vicariously through your pin. Then.
You don't put your pins on anything
That's
anyway,
true.
so you can actually enjoy it by just walking behind me and looking at my backpack.
as
you
I
go.
always do, as a dutiful
That is
husband.
your place.
I am the Prince Philip to your Queen Elizabeth II.
Yep,
Yeah,
so-
3 steps behind.
So yeah, there were a lot of things that were interesting. There was an adipose thing, and I was like, "What is this?" Because it was just like flat and fabric. It was an adipose Christmas stocking, like an actual branded thing.
I saw that. I didn't know
But
what it
it's
was.
not in a stocking shape, so it doesn't make any sense to me. It just made me laugh. I was like,
It's a
you know
dice
what? They
bag.
will
That's
make
what it
it.
is.
I
Yeah,
could fit
see?
so many dice in
See?
that
Yeah.
adipose.
We bought some Ted Lasso Funko Pops, and I think it was at that same booth that they had the adipose thing.
That's a curse sentence. Ted Lasso Funko
Ted
Pop.
Lasso and Roy Kent.
Funko Pops.
Gotta have them.
Yeah.
There
Put
was
your photo up.
That Joe Martin Doctor and TARDIS box.
It was
Yeah.
marked down from $125 to $75.
Which
It's cheaper than I paid for when I got early.
I decided I don't want to risk it. I want to order it, and I don't want to have to cram that into a carry-on either.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
I ordered it
No,
earlier,
it's
and
a
I'm
pro
glad I
tip.
did.
Just I'm going to take all these guys out of the boxes and throw them all in a bag.
Yeah.
I don't care about the box.
No, but the TARDIS itself is tough. You
Oh,
can't,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
big.
fold it up. It was just
Yeah.
a Joe Martin Doctor. I could have done
It's
it.
still
but-
bulky and
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm looking at a hummingbird right now, and it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just nice to record outside sometimes. Oh,
Got-
there it goes.
Oh, yeah. There it
I
is.
saw it in the reflection, but that's what you can do at Gallifrey One, I guess.
Yep.
Hummingbirds will.
California, baby.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
California.
they would instantly freeze and drop to the ground like they wouldn't have it.
Exactly. This is it for the Saturday. We'll probably reconvene on Sunday and do one more. Anything else? What is there anything else that you're looking forward to this weekend, Jason, Erika specifically? Because we probably won't loop you in to do a second one of these.
I mean, I'm looking forward to In Defense Of for Verity. My job is very low key. All I have to do is start a timer and stop the timer.
Did anybody bring a bell?
You know what? I hope Deb remembered to pack the bell.
Yeah.
If she didn't, I can just say ding.
Okay.
Or actually set the timer to play the TARDIS noise or something
There
like
we
that
go.
into the microphone.
Oh.
We'll be fine. We
Last
don't need
year
her.
you just said ding, I think.
Yeah.
We don't need Deb to go buy yet another bell. She has done that so many times. She keeps forgetting the bell. She'll run to a Staples, buy a bell.
Between an indefensive and an inconceivable bell, I think there's probably 17 bells between Dan Moore and you and Deb, I think.
This
Yes.
is a hotel. Do they not have a proper bellhop bell here somewhere?
Name it.
I don't know. I walked by the desk and there's just a sign that says bell. It's in wood. And I walked by and I'm going, wait a minute. Do you tap the wooden sign and it makes a bell noise?
I've gone to
I
many
know.
conferences where they ring the bell to let you know 5 minutes before you go in for whatever that session is, right?
that what- yeah.
So they must have that here somewhere.
They've got it somewhere. We'll figure it out.
Maybe.
I love In Defense Of because I enjoy being a monster my own self.
I've been
Right.
Not where I saw
racking my
that
brain
sentence
all day
going.
trying
Yeah.
to think of nasty stuff to bring up.
Yeah,
I
I'm
say-
never going to top defending the idea that we should have more missing episodes.
Right? You are
I think
forever
you're right.
That is the worst.
Upon reflection, you are correct.
the greatest monster in defense of history in
Never
some
going to
ways.
top that, so why try?
Yeah. So you'll sit and bask in your achievement.
Yeah, but it's
in-
great. That's a fun thing. No, I'm really looking forward to spending more time with the people here because it's so great, and I'll drift into sessions and be wowed by the amazing creative people. I just love the creative sessions. You talking to Sega Nakanola about his creative process in scoring. I just find that stuff so fascinating. It's so amazing the wide variety of creative talent that ends up coming here because they're connected to Doctor Who, but really they just have there's so much history, whether it's Derek Jacobi with his long career or whether it's animators, puppeteers, people who are scoring, musicians.
Yeah.
It's amazing, the
yeah.
variety.
I forgot to mention Amanda Ray Prescott's interview with Ray Holman. Amanda Ray is like a great cosplayer, costumer. She knows everything about period costuming.
What he knows about production coach, she knows about period
Yes.
costume.
Yeah.
So I was so excited that she got to talk to Ray Holman, and it was one of those interviews where she kept asking these questions that were things I never would have thought of asking, but immediately I was like, I must know the answer to this. And it was such a great conversation because she knew how to pull out of him the cool information that was just really fascinating that most people probably wouldn't think of. And they mentioned Born and Bred, and I whooped from the audience because I was very excited. She did not know it was me, but she looked out and she's like, whoa, we got a fan.
Right.
Yes, that's me.
Second straight convention to mention Born and Bred.
Right?
Chris Chibnall being the showrunner of it, as mentioned, as kicked off her interview
And
last
Ray
year.
Holman worked on it. And it was
Yeah.
really interesting because I never would have thought about the differences between period costuming versus modern costuming versus that fuzzy place in the middle,
Right.
which is what you get there, where, you can be a little bit more relaxed with the costuming, but if there's going to be a stunt, then you have to make it double, and all of these things I never thought of. It was just a great interview.
Oh, fantastic. I don't want to. I'm looking forward to Rest.
Oh yes, absolutely.
yes.
Oh, what's that?
I've done a very
Which
bad job.
panel is that on?
I don't know. It might be a panel on Sunday after.
I believe it's on the plane when you
Monday
fly
and
home.
it's in that swimming pool.
It is in the hot
That
tub.
hot tub. Yeah.
Yep.
I've learned from my previous mistakes. I've taken the next day off and not going immediately back to work after I get home.
Oh
I
yeah.
took the whole week
You
off.
Took the whole week off.
I just took a day off.
Yeah.
When are you getting back to work, Stephen?
I edited a work podcast
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
to be
earlier
fair,
today.
I have been editing some TPK stuff
Oh.
while I'm here, so I am not
Bless you.
totally.
Yeah. So it's never a day off
Never
for
ends.
me. It never does end, and that's the beauty of it. I'm fine with that.
And there's still LobbyCon tonight.
There's still LobbyCon
And
tonight,
tomorrow.
and there's still Kim and Sage are interviewing the family Tyler. Before it, there's going to be a video, which we can say now quietly as Shooty Gatwa saying a special message to the people. It's going to be repeated at the closing
ceremony.
ceremonies. This will be out after this happens, but before the closing ceremony. So that I want to be there in time for that.
Yes.
So with that, I will throw to our interview with Sir Derek Jacobi. We've had a lot of guests on this podcast over the years. We've never had a knight of the realm.
Oh,
May I welcome Sir Derek Jacobi to Radio Free Skaro. How you
once
doing?
a night. I'm thrilled.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yes.
Really? Oh, I was thrilled. How was it being knighted? Do you remember? It was like 1994 when that happened.
Was it really?
It was.
94.
Yeah.
It was, yes, it was fun. My dad came with me. He was sort of sitting out there bursting with pride.
Uh-huh.
And it was lovely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Didn't make any difference, really.
Do you often go? Am I embarrassing you by calling you Sir Derek all the time? Or
Yes.
then it's Derek. It is from now on.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Especially with Vicious and Sir Derek and Sir Ian.
Oh,
Right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
Twice a night.
We're at a Doctor Who convention, so we're contractually obligated to talk to you about Doctor
Doctor
Who
Who.
at least a little bit.
Right.
And your appearance in Utopia,
Right.
which is one of Warren's
My absolute favorites.
favorite.
A lot of that's due to you.
episodes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
In fact, I was going to ask, there's in the commentary, RTD, Rusty Davies, talks about trying to do the thing you did with the eyes and failing utterly at it in the mirror and understanding this is why I hired this guy and I don't do it myself. So how do you do the thing with the eye where you turn into the master and it's all of the eyes? It's incredible. I've seen it a million times and it never ceases to amaze me.
I can't tell you. I'm
enough.
sorry. I can't. I truly can't. If you'd asked me kind of in the moment, I could have said something stunningly original. But I can't think of anything at the moment.
It's iconic.
I'm
though.
sorry to
No,
disappoint
I'm
you.
not disappointed at all. It's amazing.
What are those instinctual actor
Yes,
have been doing for decades?
Yeah.
And
Just
a
kicks
lot,
in.
A lot of
Yeah.
the times, actors don't realise what they're doing or what effect they're making. And it's like, somebody tells you what they saw, but the actor is not always in that control. I mean, they're hoping that something happens, but they can't always define it.
It's like a muscle memory in some ways.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is sort of,
Yeah. You just train yourself. You don't really realize you're up to it.
No, exactly.
Did one of our favorite directors worked on that, which is Graham Harper, who is an energetic soul, and I think kept the energy and pace up through that entire episode. Do you have any memories of working with Graham Harper?
No. I am so sorry.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
a hopeless interviewee, aren't I?
No, it's fine.
Hopeless.
Right. No, that's fine. How many things have you been in over the course of your career? And here we
Well,
ask you about specific directors.
From 20 years ago, more or less.
I've been at it since 1960.
Goodness
So that's
me.
what, 63 years. Jeez.
My word. I mean, you watched Doctor Who in
As a youngster, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was long, like on your wish list to be in Doctor Who, from what I understand.
Not at the front of my head, but
Yeah.
I think most actors at some point in their lives think, a stint on Doctor Who would be good. Yeah.
And you finally got it, and they kill
Finally
you off.
got it, but only for one episode, I'm
Yeah.
afraid. They bumped me off and gave it to somebody else.
But you've done the audio as the character, so there's
Yes,
that.
I've done it a lot in the
Right.
audio. Yeah. Yeah.
Has been
Yeah.
fun revisiting that. Then being
Oh,
in
yes.
this evil bastard on
Yes.
audio.
Yes, I like me. As I said in the show, you weren't in there.
Right.
The villains are the best parts. Always.
Uh-huh.
Yes. The goody hero. It's fine. You get the best costumes. You get all the lines.
Yeah.
But it's the villain, the evil one that gets the people's hearts pumping.
Is there a temptation, not that you've ever done it, to overact and sort of like really reach for the stars when you're playing a villain? Because in your performances as Professor Yana / the Master, I thought was like just a slow boil of a villainry.
Yeah, that's a great way to
which
put
is
it.
a perfect way to do it. Is it tough to sort of not go for the go to 11, so to speak?
Well, I won't disillusion you. But the instinct to go over the top is always there. Always. And you do have to suppress it.
Right.
Otherwise, it's ruined.
Right.
Once you seem to be enjoying it, it ceases to be effective.
That's true. Speaking of the villain, you were the villain in a film from 1991. We're jumping around a little bit here, called Dead Again, which is my wife Erika's favorite performance of you. Yes, she absolutely adored you in that.
Oh, golly.
And my first exposure to your work as well.
Well, Dead Again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mine was Henry V when you introduced it, and I'm like, who is this guy? What's going on?
Yeah. Golly.
Yeah. What do you remember of Dead Again? Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson and Robin Williams and all that cast.
That's right. Again, the villain, Ken and Em, had all the work to do, but the villain was the better part, really.
Right.
Yes, and I love doing it. And they're both such close friends that the three of us working together was a real bonus. That was lovely. Yes, yeah. With Ken acting and directing.
Yeah.
As he does, the bugger. Yes.
Have you ever had the directing bug? Did you ever have it during your career?
Yeah, I directed Ken.
Oh, wow.
Actually. Yes.
In what?
On stage?
Yes,
Or?
on stage. But not really. I remember when directing Ken as Hamlet on stage, he kept saying, "Get off the stage, you're the fucking director. Get off." Because I wanted to be up there doing it.
Right.
So I'm not a director, I'm an actor. I'm not a director.
I know. This is the great thing about Shakespeare is that you can play like Hamlet and stuff, and then there's like parts like King Lear later on in life and your career. There's always a pinnacle
yes,
for
absolutely.
an actor, you know.
Yes, I played Lear when I was in my mid-70s. And I was told, if you've got to play it now. If you leave it any longer, you'll be the right age, but you won't have the energy.
Right, yeah.
But now you're old enough and you've got energy. So get on with it.
Nowadays, they'd probably just put some younger actor in not to say that they didn't do that to you and Guy Claudius, which we'll get to, but, you know, there's a way, you know, in bigger films, I notice that a lot of older actors are not getting the parts they used to, and instead they're like glamming up younger actors to be in makeup. Is this
it's wrong.
Is it a concern of yours?
Yeah, because the older actor will be better and deserves it. Do you know? They've been around. They've worked up, and it's one of the desserts that are waiting at the end of the actor's meal.
Right.
Really, and to be denied it is sad.
Yeah. I mentioned Claudius. It recently came back on BBC Four, and thus on iPlayer, and a lot of people were reintroduced to it again.
Yes.
I mean, it's what made your TV career at the time. I think. What are your memories about that? I imagine there's probably a few.
It was not first choice.
Right.
Originally, there were going to be two Claudii, a young one and an old one. They offered the old one to Charlton Heston.
Really?
He turned it down.
Okay.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm glad you said that.
Then they offered it to an English comedian, whose name I've mercifully forgotten. No, it's gone.
Spike Mulligan.
Of that ilk.
Okay, right.
He mercifully turned it down.
Right.
And then the director and the producer got together and said, well, look, wouldn't it be better if we got the same actor to age up, because then the audience knows who they're dealing with and follows the career. And I had done a young to old thing on the telly with this producer and director. And he said, what about Derek? Well, the owner of the rights to Claudius was an American. And of course the Americans didn't know him from a hole in the ground.
Right.
So I was taken out to dinner with the American who owned the rights. And next morning, Herbert, the director, rang and said, you've got it. He's going to go with you. Doesn't know who the hell you are, but he's going to go with you.
Right.
And, that turned my life around, really, yes.
It's like Herbert Wise was the director
Herbie,
on that. And I just saw some video essays of just some of the ways he would tell an entire scene, just with one sweeping camera movement, one camera moving back and forth, and it reinforced how multi-camera studio production like that was like a ballet.
Yes, it was all in the studio.
Everything was choreographed. Like the actors had to work around the cameras as well in a way. I mean, there was
he was very clever because there were scenes shot in the Colosseum. Well, the Colosseum was done in a tiny little studio.
Yeah.
And he made it look like Colosseum.
Yeah.
And he was
How
very,
difficult,
very clever.
as an actor, how difficult is it with all this stuff whizzing around you? How is to just concentrate on the part?
It was difficult at first, but then you learn to ignore all that. The falsity of what you were doing, particularly in the Colosseum scenes. We were also, there was a floor here, there was a ledge here, and we would all sit on the ledge, look down as if we were looking into the arena.
And you're looking at plywood.
So it was all,
and somebody with a clipboard or something just sort of ticking off shots as they go by, and you're
absolutely.
trying to remove yourself from that reality.
Yes, it was very strange, but wonderful too.
I know, yeah. See, we're kind of old television aficionados, and that that is, sure, it's great to see like a modern show like Game of Thrones or something like that. It looks spectacular, but I think the performances in
Mm-hmm.
stuff like I, Claudius, and even classic Doctor Who, there's a certain realness to it all.
Yes, I agree, and the actors are allowed to do more rather than the technical. It's a combination, and a very happy combination.
Like there's a company feel. I thought,
absolutely company feel.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you probably rehearsed
Yes.
each episode of I, Claudius for what, like 10 days or something prior to recording.
That's right. Yeah, and then 2 days in the studio.
Yeah, and it must have been. I mean,
It was wonderful.
yeah.
I think 13 weeks or double that. I can't remember now. It was so long ago. Gosh.
Right.
Golly.
Well, we'll talk about something more recent, which we thought even just the concept was amusing to us. Vicious, where
Vicious,
you and Sir Ian McKellen, two Knights of the Realm. I mentioned that not to embarrass you, but just to make a point that two of the most distinguished actors are playing bitchy old drama queens in this sitcom in front of a live studio audience.
Well, we were university students together in our time. We were both at Cambridge, and the bitchy old queens came sort of natural to us. They were such funny scripts. They were lovely parts, both of them. And it was two actors letting their hair down, really.
Right.
And we could be silly and camp, and what actor doesn't want to be silly and camp?
Right.
So we were, and we got paid for it. So it was, we all won. Yes.
I don't think such a show would have been made with either of you two like 30 years prior. It felt like it needed your
Just the right
stature
time.
and your
Yeah.
experience.
Yes, the sirs came in. Yes,
Right.
it gave us a kind of legitimacy. Yes.
The role of Ian as the breadwinner and you more as the kept man.
Yes, I
Did
was
you-
the
did you
more
have-
flamboyant one.
Did you have much input into the characters
Yes.
at all, or was it just on the page and it was already there?
It was practically on the page, but my character was obviously the floozy. And it made it great fun to play. You know, and Ian had the harder work, really, which he did wonderfully, and I could kind of bounce off him. You know.
He plays a wonderful grump.
He does. Yes, he does. Yes. Yes.
How are you enjoying your first Gallifrey One? This convention here, this first one here that you've been to out in supposedly sunny LA, but it hasn't exactly been that.
I have been to one before.
Oh.
Yes, I did one when I was in with Kelsey Grammer, and we did one for Frasier.
Right.
It was a long time ago.
Really?
Yes.
A convention for Fraser, really?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Were anybody dressed up as you? Like there are probably people dressed up in costumes as
There
you've
are
probably
some
seen.
very strange people.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
I mean, you have to admire their dedication, I suppose, to the craft.
You call it dedication.
What happened? I mean, I didn't see. We did a tour of the hallway coming here. We didn't yet see anyone dressed up like you from 2007 and Doctor Who. What will your reaction be when you see someone dressed up as Professor Yana coming at you?
Well, I didn't see any Yanas. No,
Yeah.
I didn't. I saw lots of other creatures. I mean, they were creatures.
Right? Yep.
But it's their enthusiasm that is so beguiling, really. You know, that they, when you're doing things like Doctor Who or whatever, the audience kind of is an amorphous block. You don't see them as individuals. And here, suddenly, you see all those people. Do they sit at home in these costumes and watch?
Probably one or two of them do. Yeah.
It's very strange.
Watching as they make them, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, I hope we've enjoyed your time here so far.
Oh, I've loved it. Yes, it's been lovely.
Oh, good.
Lovely. I've got 2 more days signing things.
We've got several friends who are looking forward to your script readings and the other side events that you're doing.
Yes.
So,
right.
Hopefully that's something you enjoy as well.
Oh, yes. Well, it's 2 days out of my life.
Right. Exactly. And it's a whole lifetime of memories for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yes. All right. Derek Jacobi, thank you so much.
Thank you very
great
much.
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you so much.
Sir Derek Jacobi, Warren, we just had Derek Jacobi on the
Insane.
podcast. We used to
Insane.
call him a hack actor. Hackabee, we joked.
It was always a joke.
Always
Always
in
a
jest.
joke.
In the earliest days of this podcast in 2006, we
And-
would make this joke.
As is tradition, I did my traditional 5-second freak out at the level of person we interviewed, which started with Graham Harper in
Yeah.
whatever that was, 2010, 11,
Yeah.
something like that.
2010.
Yeah. Graham Harper, the director that Derek Jacobi did not know.
True, yes.
true.
So it's all come full
Because
circle.
we mentioned Utopia, Jason. You haven't heard the interview. And he goes, what do you remember about working with Graham Harper? Really energetic director. Do you remember anything at all? No. And that was it.
And
that
bless
was
him.
his memory.
Yeah.
But it's Derek Jacobi, so he says that, and it
Yeah.
just sounds mellifluous.
Exactly.
Lovely.
And
Yeah.
both Eric and I, our first exposure to him was Dead Again.
Classic.
Yeah,
I love
Planet
it.
film. And alas, he had no memories of that either,
But
really.
he did remember working with Ken and Emma.
Well,
And
yeah.
his
Yeah.
eyes
Ken and
lit
Em.
up. He was so happy.
And Kim
Yeah.
put a picture of like a still from that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, so young.
Yeah. It was delightful. So, all right.
Hooray.
Well, hooray indeed.
Yes.
To quote Phil Collinson, who was at our first Gallifrey One in 2009, serving drinks at the bar, as only Gallifrey One can do. Jason, Erika, thanks very much for joining us for
Thank
this.
you for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Until the next episode, which is tomorrow, I am Steven at Gallifrey One.
Warren at Gallifrey One.
Chris at Gallifrey One.
Erika, Gallifrey One.
Jason, poolside.
That's all I'm going to have.